Hey there, future homeowner. Congratulations on taking this exciting step towards owning your very own home. Whether you're ready to put an end to the endless rent cycle, or if you're looking to cash out your equity from your current home and move into another, or maybe you just want to learn about buying a home in Texas, you have come to the right place. Now, buying a home can feel a bit overwhelming, like trying to solve a puzzle where each piece has its own set of rules. But don't worry, you've got this and we've got you. We are here to guide you through every twist and turn of this journey. The purpose of this video is to provide you with a comprehensive step-by-step roadmap to navigate the home buying process with ease and confidence. At the Crest Edge Group, we aim to demystify every aspect of buying a home, from financial preparation and house hunting to closing the deal and settling into your new place. Now, whether you're a first-time buyer feeling overwhelmed by all the details, or someone who has bought before but just wants a refresher, this video is for you. And I'll warn you, it's a long one, and it has to be to truly cover the many aspects of buying a home and to go into the kind of detail we will cover in this video. So after you watch the whole video, feel free to use the chapters we've outlined in the description to jump around and rewatch the sections that are most important to you. And if you go to buying.thecrestedgegroup.com, you can get our complete 60+ page home buying guide that goes along with this video. Our goal is to empower you with the knowledge and tools you need to make informed decisions, avoid common pitfalls, and ultimately find a home you love that meets your needs. So let's get started by talking about the timelines, the team you'll want to put in place, and the hidden costs of the home buying process. The first step in your home buying journey is to assemble your real estate dream team. This includes a knowledgeable and professional realtor like us and a reliable lender. Your realtor will guide you through the market and the home buying process, while your lender will help you understand your financial options and get pre-approved for a loan. Step 2, have a home buyer strategy session meeting. In your strategy session, your realtor will update you on the current market conditions specific to the type of property and area you're interested in. You'll learn what to expect during showings, how to make competitive offers, and get an overview of the contract to close process. This session sets the stage for your entire home buying journey, ensuring you're well prepared and informed. Step 3, get pre-approved for your loan. Getting pre-approved for your loan is a critical step. Your lender will help you determine what you can afford, calculate your potential monthly mortgage payments, and understand your debt-to-income ratio. This step involves gathering financial documents and completing a loan application. The goal is to get your pre-approval letter, which acts as your golden ticket when making offers on homes. Pre-approval can happen within a day or two of submitting an application, and all the required documents are provided. A pre-approval letter will be required before we start looking at homes. Step 4, we get to go shopping. This is when we start searching for your home in earnest. With your pre-approval letter in hand, we can start touring homes that fit your criteria. This step can take a few weeks to a few months, depending on the market and your specific needs. Be patient and keep an open mind as you explore different options. Step 5, make your offer. We will help you craft a competitive offer based on market data and the home's condition. This step involves negotiating terms with the seller. If your offer is accepted, you'll move on to the next stage. Step 6, contract to close. It can take 30 to 45 days after offer acceptance to get to closing day. Now, this phase involves several key activities: a professional home inspection to identify any issues with the property, and based on the inspection report, we'll negotiate any necessary repairs with the seller. Your loan application goes through underwriting to verify all the details. An appraisal is conducted to confirm the home's value matches the loan amount. The title company conducts a title search to ensure there are no legal issues with the property's ownership and transfer of that ownership. And just before closing, you will do a final walkthrough to ensure the home is in the agreed upon condition. And that leads us to step 7, closing day. This is the big day. On this day, you'll sign all the necessary documents, pay your closing costs, which were actually hopefully wired to the title company at least a day in advance. And assuming closing and funding all occurs on this day, you will receive the keys to your new home. Congratulations, you're now a homeowner. So that is a quick look at the process. But who do you need in your corner to help you get there? Before you start house hunting, it's important to assemble your real estate dream team. And this step sets the foundation for a smooth and successful home buying journey. Your team will consist of 2 key players: a real estate agent and a lender. The role of the real estate agent. Your real estate agent is your trusted guide and advocate throughout the entire home buying process. And here's what they bring to the table. VIP buyer services, like mailing buyer needs letters to targeted homes, networking with other agents to source off-market listings, contact matching expired, withdrawn, and canceled listings that fit what you're looking for. They offer market expertise because they can understand local market conditions and help you find properties that fit your criteria and match your budget. And agents have access to the MLS, and they can show you homes that may not be widely advertised. And your agent will negotiate on your behalf to get the best possible deal, whether it's the purchase price, repairs, or closing terms. And they offer process guidance from scheduling showings to navigating paperwork, understanding inspections, and more. Your agent will guide you through each step of the process, ensuring nothing falls through the cracks. Working with a real estate agent from the start helps you avoid common pitfalls and ensures you have an expert on your side to handle any challenges that may arise. And find an agent who commits to offering a comprehensive level of support. At the Crest Edge Group, if we can't find a home on the open market, we will search for off-market opportunities. We will view properties on your behalf when you don't have the ability. We'll provide insights and expertise. We'll analyze market data. And when you find a home that you'd like to make an offer on, we craft a custom offer designed to make your offer stand out. We work to not only make sure your offer gets appreciated properly, but that the transaction gets to the closing table. We've got someone in place to help you secure the right kind of loan and provide a second pitch of your offer to the seller, and an appraiser to make sure you don't pay a penny more than it's worth, and an inspector to make sure you're not going to buy a dud. And then when all of that's done, when you work with us, you've got someone who's going to look after your real estate needs for life. So if you are looking for an agent like us, let's talk. We'd love to work with you or connect you with one of our partner agents committed to this level of service if you happen to be in a different market than where we are. Just go to getstarted.thecrestedgegroup.com and click on the button that conveniently says, click here to get started. Tell us how to contact you and we'll take it from there. Okay, commercial over, back to the process. Now for the role of the lender. Your lender is your financial partner, helping you secure the mortgage needed to purchase your home. A lender will review your financial situation and provide a pre-approval letter, which shows the sellers you are a serious and qualified buyer. Lenders can explain different mortgage options and help you choose the best one for your particular financial situation. They can lock in your interest rate to protect you from increases before closing. The lender handles the underwriting process, ensuring your loan application is complete and meets all the requirements for final approval. And getting pre-approved with a lender before you start looking at homes is critical. It clarifies your budget, strengthens your offer, and speeds up the buying process. Having your ducks in a row with your documentation and approvals makes your offer more attractive to sellers, showing that you are financially ready to buy. Now, your lender and agent will work together to ensure all aspects of your purchase are aligned, from financial approval to closing day. And if issues arise, having a cohesive team means problems can be addressed quickly and efficiently, keeping your purchase on track. And now that we're on the topic of the lender, I have a little more to say about money. Now, buying a home involves more than just the down payment. There are several other costs you'll need to budget for to ensure a smooth process. And you don't have to take notes here. Just go get that guide at buying.thecrestedgegroup.com or click on the link in this video description. Okay, first, let's start with the expenses paid before closing. And it all starts with your option fee. So what's your option fee? Well, in Texas, the option fee is paid to the seller for the right to an option period, during which you can inspect the home and negotiate repairs. It's also a time in which the buyer can back out of a contract for any reason whatsoever. And the only consequence to the buyer is the loss of that option fee. The cost of the option fee varies based on the price point, market demand, and duration of the option period. We can see it start at around $100, but easily go over $1,000. It's a negotiation point and there's no set amount. And whether or not it's refundable, well, that depends. If you close on the home, you get it back. But if you don't close on the home, you don't get it back. And this fee is due to the title company within 3 days after the effective date of the contract. The next pre-closing fee is the earnest money. Now, what's that? Well, in Texas, the earnest money is a deposit made to the title company. Sellers look at it as a way to show your serious intent to purchase the property. Typically, we see this as 1% of the sales price. So on a $400,000 home, that would cost you $4,000. Now, this money is credited back to you when you close on the property. However, if you default on the contract, you could lose your earnest money, and there are other provisions that could tie up the earnest money if you don't close on the home. This amount is due to the title company within 3 days after the effective date of the contract, and it's generally paid at the same time as the option fee. Now, one important note, if you are buying a new home from a builder, the builder takes a deposit and does not call it earnest money. Builder deposits range anywhere from 1% to 5% of the sales price. And the rules around getting that refunded almost always favor the builder on their contracts. So make sure you talk with your realtor about the risks on a new build contract if that's the direction you're going. And once you're under contract, you'll have to pay to get the property inspected, and that fee is due at the time of your inspection. A home inspection is a very important part of the process because it helps identify potential issues with the property. The cost starts around $500 and can exceed $1,000 depending on the depth of the inspection and the size of the home. Additional costs may apply for inspecting pools, septic systems, sewer scopes, sprinklers, and pests and termites. Now, this inspection cost is not refundable. If you decide to not purchase the house, you don't get this refunded. Then you have the fee to appraise the home. If you're getting a loan on the home, you will be required to have an appraisal done on the property. The cost for this ranges from $500 to over $1,000, with most appraisals costing around $600. And additional fees of $150 or $200 may apply for reappraisals, which are very common in new construction. And this is also a non-refundable fee. The last item that only applies on certain transactions is the cost of a survey. If a buyer is required to pay for a new survey on a property, which depends on what was agreed to in the contract, well, this is sometimes paid in advance. A survey gives you the legal description of the property, location of buildings and structures, property boundary lines, and details if there are any easements or encroachments. Surveys are required for title insurance. Now on to expenses paid at closing. We'll start with title company fees. This is approximately $1,000, and this covers the cost of facilitating the transaction and filing the necessary documents with the local governing authorities. This does not include the cost of title insurance, so just be aware of that. Now, then there are your lender fees. This includes application fees, underwriting fees, and other processing costs, and that's going to be roughly 1.5% of the sales price, but your lender will let you know in advance. Then at closing, you'll be required to prepay for some of your home ownership expenses if you're escrowing, and this will include about 14 months of homeowner's insurance, 3 months of property taxes, and some days of mortgage interest. Now, there may be other costs paid at closing that were agreed to in the contract, but these will vary based on what was agreed to in the contract. And this is why I want to emphasize working with a realtor on your purchase. There are so many negotiation points within a contract and the required addenda that could get you into a bind if you're not aware of them. There are multiple cost negotiations throughout the contract, and it's not a simple, oh, the seller pays for everything. If you don't know what to check, where to look, or the property addenda to add to protect your financial interests as a buyer, you could put yourself at a huge disadvantage financially. Now, let's take a break for a second and talk about something I get asked a lot at this point in a home buying consultation, and that is, what happens if I don't have a huge savings stockpiled? No problem. You don't have to have a massive amount in your savings account to buy a home. There are numerous programs and opportunities available to help you get into a home with minimal upfront costs. And that is why working with a good lender at the start will help you. They can take this into consideration and identify opportunities that align with your circumstances and goals. There are zero down USDA loans, which are great for rural and suburban home buyers. There are 3.5% down FHA loans, which are great for first-time homebuyers with lower credit scores. There are 3% first-time homebuyer conventional loans, which are ideal for those with a good credit score but limited savings. Then there are seller contributions. Depending on the state of the market where you are, many sellers are willing to cover some of your closing costs. By understanding these costs and exploring available financing options, you'll be better prepared to navigate the financial aspects of buying a home without breaking the bank. And since we are on this topic of money, I want to go back to something I've mentioned a few times, but have not provided a great explanation as to what the process looks like, and that is getting pre-approved for a loan. Getting pre-approved for a mortgage is one of the most critical steps in your home buying process. It's like having a VIP pass that tells sellers you're not just window shopping, you're here and ready to make a serious offer. Mortgage pre-approval is a process where a lender evaluates your financial situation to determine how much they're willing to lend you for a home. Unlike pre-qualification, which is a more informal estimate, Pre-approval involves a thorough review of your income, credit history, assets, and debts. The result is a pre-approval letter that outlines the maximum loan amount you qualify for and the terms of the loan. Why is pre-approval important? It defines your budget. Knowing how much you can borrow helps you focus your home search on properties within your price range, saving you time and effort. It strengthens your offer. A pre-approval letter shows sellers that you are a serious buyer with financing already lined up. This can give you a big competitive edge, especially in a hot market. It identifies potential issues early. Going through the pre-approval process can reveal any financial issues, and it gives you time to fix these issues before you start house hunting. The pre-approval process involves several steps, including submitting a detailed loan application and providing various financial documents. The application typically includes information about your employment, assets, debt, and income. Your lender will require documentation to verify the information in your application. These include things like pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements, and proof of assets. The lender will perform a credit check. If you're approved, a lender will issue a pre-approval letter stating the loan amount and the terms you qualify for. This letter is typically valid for 60 to 90 days, and this process is 100% free. You do not get charged for a pre-approval. Here are some of the questions most people ask at this point, and of course, the answers. How long does it take to get pre-approved? The time it takes to get pre-approved for a mortgage can vary depending on several factors, but generally it takes anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks. The faster you can submit any required documents and complete the forms, the faster you'll get your answer. What credit score do you need to get a mortgage? The minimum credit score needed to get a mortgage can vary depending on the type of loan you're applying for. Check with your lender to confirm, but generally speaking, conventional loans need at least a 620. FHA loans need at least a 580 credit score, possibly 500 to 579. And USDA loans need a 640 credit score. Can I get a mortgage with bad credit? Yes, it is possible to get a mortgage with less than stellar credit, but it may be more challenging and come with certain limitations and require you to pay a higher interest rate. Some options and considerations for obtaining a mortgage with bad credit are to look into FHA loans and VA loans if you qualify. FHA loans are a little more forgiving of lower credit scores, and you may qualify with a score as low as 500. However, if your score is below 580, you will need to make a larger down payment. VA loans. If you're a veteran or active duty service member, you may qualify for a VA loan, which has more flexible credit requirements. Lenders may approve VA loans with borrowers for credit scores as low as 580. If possible, take some time to improve your credit score. This can involve paying down debt, disputing errors on your credit report, and making consistent on-time payments. But here is a pro tip for you. Before you pay off a card or close accounts, check with your lender to see what actions will actually have the biggest impact on your credit score. Believe me, you will be surprised when you find out what really moves the needle. Some other considerations are to offer a larger down payment or get a co-signer. Now, a larger down payment can sometimes offset the risk posed by a lower credit score, making lenders more willing to approve your loan. Having a co-signer with good credit can improve your chances of getting approved, though this is a significant commitment for the co-signer. And if you have zoned out for a minute, come back to me, because if you're getting a loan to buy a house, you do not want to miss this. And that is this list of things you should absolutely, positively, under no circumstances do once you're in the process of buying a home, because they could make you lose your loan approval status. And what's worse is you may not even find out that you've lost your approval status until just right before closing. So promise yourself these 4 things. 1, you will not make a major purchase. Avoid buying big ticket items like cars, furniture, or appliances. 2, you will keep your credit stable. Do not open new credit accounts or close existing ones unless your lender approves, since those can impact your credit score. 3, you'll stay employed. Job changes can affect your income stability and complicate the approval process. Plus, even if your employer has provided one employment verification at the time you were pre-approved for the loan, the lender may require one again right before closing as a fail-safe to ensure you're still employed. During COVID, when people lost their jobs or were furloughed at alarming rates, this became standard for almost every lender. 4, you will avoid large bank deposits. Large, unexplained deposits can raise red flags with lenders. If you need to deposit a significant amount, be prepared to provide documentation. And now that you've got all this down, it's finally time to go house hunting. Now that we have your financing lined up, we can start looking at homes. We'll send you homes that fit with what you're looking for. You tell us which ones you want to see, we schedule the showings, then we're off. And I do want to level set with you here. One of the biggest pitfalls potential homeowners face is the temptation to stretch their finances. They hope a seller will drastically reduce their price to meet the buyer's budget. This approach can lead to disappointment and wasted time, where you miss out on homes that are priced at an amount you want to pay, but someone else gets them because you're busy holding out for the fire sale. Also, be cautious about going to builder homes without your realtor. I know a lot of buyers like to do this because they get excited and just want to look around, but many builders often have the stance that if your realtor does not bring you to the builder's model at the time you see it, then they won't allow your realtor to represent you for the purchase. And even in a new build home, it is very important to have representation, because the salesperson at the sales model represents the builder, not you. When you find the house, the one you're ready to make an offer on, now it is time to really get into the weeds with the numbers. To craft a competitive and realistic offer, you need to understand current market conditions. This means knowing what similar homes are selling for, how much sellers are typically willing to negotiate, and what terms will make your offer stand out. A comparative market analysis, or a CMA, is a report prepared by your realtor. It compares the home that you're interested in with similar properties that have recently sold in the same area. This analysis considers factors like size, condition, location, and features. Look at recent sales data for similar homes in the neighborhood. Pay attention to the final sales price and concessions paid compared to the listing price, and this will help you gauge the level of negotiation that's typically seen in the area. And this is information your realtor will have to provide. This level of detail can only be found on MLS records. Also, keep in mind that home price estimates on popular real estate search sites are not a reliable source of this kind of data. Texas is a non-disclosure state, which means the amount a home sells for or any offered concessions is not public data. When you see these estimates online, it's a best guess calculation using previously listed homes, their last list prices, time on market, and it makes assumptions on what they sold for. Examine current listings to understand the asking prices for similar properties. This can give you an idea of the market range and help you determine a reasonable offer price. Some other factors to consider are market trends. Understand whether the market is trending up or down. In a hot market, homes may sell quickly and close at or above the asking price. In a slower market, sellers might be more open to negotiations. Seasonal factors. Real estate markets are seasonal, with more competition in the spring and summer months and potentially more room for negotiation in the winter. Now, based on all this information you've gathered, determine an offer price that is competitive but within your budget. Avoid lowball offers that might insult the seller and derail negotiations unless there's substantive evidence to support the low offer. Coming in drastically low with no comps or data to support the offer usually results in the seller having an equally opposite reaction and can even refuse to negotiate with you. Contingencies are conditions that must be met for the sale to proceed. While contingencies protect you as the buyer, limiting them, when feasible, can make your offer more attractive to sellers, especially if you're not offering the full asking amount. You'll want to consult with your realtor to understand what contingencies might apply for your situation. And then have flexibility on the closing date if you can. Being flexible with the closing date can give you an edge. If the seller needs to move quickly or prefers a longer closing period, accommodating their timeline can make your offer stand out. Your realtor's expertise and knowledge of the local market are invaluable here. They can provide insights, recommend strategies, and help you craft a competitive offer. A skilled realtor knows how to negotiate effectively, balancing your needs with the market conditions to secure the best possible deal. And remember, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we can be your guide through all of this. Just go to getstarted.thecrestedgegroup.com or go ahead and schedule your buyer strategy session in the link provided in this video description. And now, if you're not in the DFW area and are looking for a realtor who has this level of service, I can help you and connect you to one of the highly qualified agents in my nationwide referral network of great agents. Because by thoroughly understanding market conditions and having an agent who can provide you with all this information, you will be better equipped to make a competitive and well-informed offer. This strategic approach increases your chances of securing the home you want at a price you can afford. And then once we come to terms and get into a contract with the seller, now it's time to get the home inspected. A home inspection provides an in-depth look at the condition of the property. It helps you avoid any potential issues before you finalize your purchase. A thorough inspection can reveal problems that a casual walkthrough may not show, like structural issues, electrical problems, plumbing defects, and more. By identifying these issues early, you can avoid costly repairs down the line. It helps ensure you're making a sound investment. Now, if you have an option period in your contract, the inspection report gives you the leverage to negotiate repairs or price reductions with the seller. This can save you money and ensure the home is in good condition before you move in. Knowing the true condition of the home helps you make an informed decision, and it helps give you peace of mind as you move forward with your purchase. Some common problems inspectors often find are roofing problems like missing or damaged shingles, leaks or water damage, electrical issues like malfunctioning GFCI or AFCI outlets or inoperable outlets and switches, plumbing defects like leaks, old water heaters, clogged or slow drains, the HVAC system, like inefficient heating or cooling, and usually an HVAC service is recommended. And in Texas, this is probably the issue I see more than anything else on almost every inspection report. Now, in the companion guide I have for this video at buying.thecrestedgroup.com, you'll find a sample inspection report so you can see all the items inspectors look for. So what should you negotiate from a home inspection? Once you receive the inspection report, assuming you'll have the opportunity to negotiate with the seller based on the findings, here's what to consider when negotiating. Seller-made repairs, where the seller fixes specific issues before closing. A price reduction. If the inspection reveals significant issues, you may negotiate a lower purchase price to account for the cost of repairs you'll need to take on. Seller credits at closing. Instead of making repairs, the seller might offer a credit or concession at closing. This gives you the extra funds to handle the repairs yourself after you move in. While the approach to inspection issues may change based on market conditions at the time, in general, we suggest you prioritize major issues. Focus on negotiating repairs or credits for significant problems that affect the home's safety, structure, or major systems. Minor cosmetic issues can often be handled on your own. If time allows, get estimates from licensed contractors to support your negotiation requests. This provides a clear picture of the cost involved. Stay flexible. Be willing to compromise and look at the big picture. Consider, again, current market conditions, comparable sales, and the other terms in your contract to help you maintain a balanced perspective when requesting repairs. And work with your realtor. Your realtor will be your advocate through this negotiation process, providing guidance on what to request and how to present your case effectively. Once we get inspections out of the way, typically the next step in the contract to close process is getting the home appraised. If you're getting a loan on a home, the lender will require an appraisal to be completed. This ensures the property you're buying is worth the amount you're paying. It protects both you and the lender. The appraiser is an independent third party who assesses the value of the property. In most cases, the appraiser will visit the home, look at the size, condition, location, and features of the property. They'll examine the interior and exterior, check for visible major defects that could affect the values, such as significant structural issues and noting any upgrades or renovations. The appraiser compares the property to similar homes that have recently sold in the area. The lender reviews the appraisal report to ensure the loan amount aligns with the appraised value. If the appraised value supports the loan amount, then the process moves forward. Now, what happens if the house does not appraise? Sometimes that happens. The appraised value of the home comes in lower than the purchase price. So let's say you're getting an 80-20 loan, meaning you're going to get a mortgage of 80% of the house value. Now, the lender will only lend on the lesser of either the appraised value or the contract price. So if the appraised value comes in below that contract price, then they will only give you an 80% loan on that appraised value. So somewhere that dollar amount has to be made up. And here's what you can do if that happens. One of the most common solutions is to renegotiate the purchase price with the seller. If the seller is motivated, they may agree to lower the price to match the appraised value. Or you can increase your down payment. If you still want to proceed with the purchase at the original price, you can choose to increase your payment to cover the difference between the appraised value and the purchase price. In some cases, you can request a reappraisal or a second opinion. If there were errors or overlooked factors in the initial appraisal, a new evaluation might result in a higher value. Or you can challenge the appraisal. If you believe the appraisal was inaccurate, you can challenge it by providing additional comps or evidence that supports a higher value. Your realtor can help you gather this information, or you can walk away. If the seller isn't willing to renegotiate, or if increasing your down payment is not an option, you may have to walk away from the deal. If your contract has an appraisal contingency, you will generally be allowed to back out without penalty if the home doesn't appraise, but check with your realtor and your contract first. And unfortunately, at this point, you will still be out the costs of the option fee, the inspection, and the appraisal. On the flip side, what if the house appraises for more than the contract price? Congratulations. This means you've got equity and you're buying a home for less than its appraised value, and the purchase price does not change. At this point in our contract to close discussion, it's good to talk about home insurance. It used to be that you could wait until like a week before closing to get insurance on a home. However, with a substantial increase in the cost of insurance lately, this is now a risky move, and you shouldn't wait to get an insurance policy on the home. I actually did an entire video about this that is worth the 11 minutes it will take to watch. The quick takeaway is that as homeowner insurance costs are rising, they're getting to levels that affect the debt to income ratio for borrowers and are pushing them out of approved loan limits. And so many times, this isn't realized until the financing contingency has passed. So it has put many buyers in contract default, which can cause quite a headache and put a lot of money at risk. Knowing the insurance costs up front helps you budget more accurately. It allows you to factor in all the monthly expenses associated with owning the home, ensuring it fits within your financial plans. Getting a quote during your option period gives you time to compare different insurance providers and policies. You can find the best coverage at the most competitive rate rather than rushing the decision. If the insurance costs are prohibitively high, knowing this during the option period allows you to reconsider your purchase or negotiate with the seller to address any issues that might be driving up the premiums. As you navigate the contract to close period, you must stay responsive to your lender, realtor, and title company. This phase of the home buying process is time sensitive, and quick turnarounds are essential to make sure everything stays on track and deadlines are met. Many buyers are surprised to know how many contract deadlines they have to abide by and keep up with on their side so they don't go into default or lose out on opportunities to improve their position. Your realtor will make sure you're aware of all of these so you're not caught by surprise when one is coming up, or worse, miss it entirely. The contract to close period includes several critical deadlines such as contingency removals, finalizing your mortgage, and preparing for closing. Missing these deadlines can have serious consequences, including losing your earnest money or the deal falling completely through. Your lender, realtor, and title company will need various documents, signatures, and decisions from you to move forward. Delays in responding can stall the process and jeopardize your closing date. If any issues arise, such as questions about your loan application or the need for additional documents, prompt responses to these allow these issues to be resolved quickly, avoiding any potential delays. Clear and timely communication helps ensure that all paperwork is accurate and complete, reducing the risk of errors that could cause last-minute complications. By staying responsive and engaged, you'll help ensure a smooth and successful closing process. Once you have removed all your contingencies to get to closing, then congratulations, you've made it to closing day. It's a big and exciting day, but there are a few things I want you to remember. About 3 business days before closing, your lender will require you to sign off on your closing disclosure. This disclosure shows all the dollars coming and going for the entire transaction. Your lender should review this with you so you are completely clear on all the numbers. The important number you really want to see is the amount of cash you will need to bring to closing. My recommendation is to have these funds to the title company at least the day before closing. It can take time for a wire to go through, and if you initiate the wire after the cutoff time, your wire won't go out until the following day. You could sign the papers on one day, but not fund until the next. Also, the idea that as soon as you sign the papers, you get the keys and go on your way, well, it doesn't actually work like that. So don't have the moving truck waiting in front of the house the day of closing, thinking that as soon as you sign the papers, it's yours. The only time you actually get the keys at closing are if the sellers have already signed and you're paying cash for the home and the money is in the title company's account at the time of closing. That's when you get the keys right away. But if you're getting a loan for a home, once you and the sellers both sign the papers, the title company has to send those to the lender for approval. They're checking to make sure every paper that needed to be signed was signed. They're checking the signatures and making sure they're correct and that they match the original loan application. They're making sure the documents, as signed, align with their investor guidelines. Once the documents are approved from their lender, they'll either send the wire at that time or release it if they've already delivered the funds in advance of the closing. For a title company to release keys, they must have 2 things happen: closing and funding. The closing portion is everyone signing the papers. The funding portion is everyone getting their money to the title company in full. And they take that in full amount seriously. So the next pro tip for you is to bring a checkbook to closing. And you may think I'm kidding, but some clients of mine had an error in the wire they sent over, and it was off 10 cents. Yes, 10 tiny cents. But that 10 cents held up the funding until they could get a check to the title company. And by the way, title companies don't take cash. There were plenty of us in the room with 10 cents of physical change, but that won't work with a real estate closing. So bring your checkbook and current IDs to closing, meaning not an expired one, because yeah, I've seen that be an issue too. And now that you've closed and funded on your home, you have made it. The house is yours. You're free to move in and make it your own and start the next chapter in your story. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for taking this time to watch. I hope this provided you with valuable insights and practical advice to help you feel more comfortable with the process. And keep this in mind, this is just a general overview and the advice here may not apply to your situation. So you should always seek professional advice before making a decision based on the information I've provided. If you have any questions about buying your home, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. You can contact me directly by email at jshannon@kw.com or by phone or text to 214-803-4444, or go ahead and schedule your buyer strategy session by clicking on the link provided in this video description. And remember, we have that 60+ page guide at buying.thecrestedgegroup.com. So go get your copy, and I forgot to mention it before, it's totally free. If you like the content in this video, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to stay updated. And if you know someone who is thinking of buying a home, do them a favor and share this video with them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. This information is for general informational purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this video should not be construed as specific financial, economic, legal, tax, or other professional advice. This information is provided without any warranty or guarantee of its accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or results from using the information. Receipt of this information and corresponding guide does not create an agency relationship with the provider. The recipient is encouraged to seek professional representation from a qualified lender, realtor, CPA, attorney, or other relevant professional before making any decisions based on the information provided. Real estate laws and regulations vary by location, and the information in this guide and video may not apply to all regions or situations. Always consult with a local professional to ensure compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. The provider assumes no responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in the content of this video and corresponding guide. Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk.